Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you. Now enjoy the show.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of RAERAEs Review, where me and my homegirl Erin gonna let you know what happened on this week's episode of Drag Race All Stars, Season 10, Episode 9. Everybody, help me welcome Erin to the show.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for having me.
We are pleased and ready to have you on this live episode. Now, we're not live, y'all, but it was all the way live for me. You know, we enjoyed this episode, y'all. It was so
did.
Good.
It
was so good.
First thing I said to RAERAE was, this episode surprised me. Yes. I didn't think I'd get this much juice out of it because I thought this was the Kumbaya crew and the riggery.
We're saying it.
Yeah, and the riggery. You know, like I said, I love Ginger, but like there's some riggery on this bracket. But then some other things had been happening, and you know, this was a flavor that I wasn't anticipating. But you know, kudos to production for giving us another little bit of spice.
Yes, and we love a little spice. Mm-hmm. Yes. So listen, y'all, we are, what, 2/3 in?
I guess. Is that what we consider it? Yeah.
Yeah, the preliminaries are done. Now we're in the, 1/3. I don't know, child. We almost
right.
There.
We're done with the semifinals after this episode. Or to the semifinals, I mean.
Yes, we are headed to the semifinals, and brackets 1 done, bracket 2 done, bracket 3 done, and you will never guess, if you haven't watched already, you will never guess who won bracket 3, child. I mean, well, you know, with all the with the tone of the streets, you probably have a good clue, but we're going to get into all of that at the end during our Untucked portion of this review, child. But yeah, all the juice, all the, girl, did you hear? What was said? All that. So first, we're going to get into the show. And how we start off is usually, you know, giving premise of the show. Well, listen, we in bracket 3. We know what's going on. We know how it do. You know, they do the thing. They top 2, and then the bottom 4 get 8 points away. And that's how we figure out who is going to win. Okay?
If you need a refresh, you can catch any one of our previous reviews where RAERAE breaks it down like the expert that she is. Because this stuff is confusing, but hopefully you figured it out by now.
Okay?
Yeah.
So y'all listen. You know, we got our 6. We got Alyssa Edwards. We got Ginger Minj.
Alyssa Hunter.
Alyssa, why do you keep calling this woman Alyssa Edwards?
Because Alyssa Edwards is the premier Alyssa, and I respect your Freudian slip, but I will bring it back to the Puerto Rican princess, Alyssa Hunter.
Thank you, and I'm gonna try and remember that moving forward. OMG. Just a little old to Alyssa Edwards. Girl, I love you, girl. If you listen, watch Alyssa. Hey, what's up?
She's amazing. She's like, if you did a pantheon of the drag gods, she's absolutely in there. Absolutely.
And didn't she win world or
she did? Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's why, you know, like, yeah, everybody know Alyssa.
Canada versus the world. No, she. If you said Alyssa, that's who you should. That's the name that should come with it. No offense to Alyssa Hunter, she's lovely, but to me, Alyssa Edwards is the premier So it's completely understandable that that's your reference point.
Okay.
Just saying.
Alyssa Hunter.
Yes.
Ginger Minj. As I'm reading left to right, y'all. Is that her on the left in the purple?
Yes.
I have to make sure. Alyssa Hunter, Ginger Minj, and we have Acid Betty. Then we have Diabetti. Then we have Denali. And then we have Fontaine. What's her name?
Cynthia Lee Fontaine. Cuckoo.
Cynthia Lee Fontaine, aka BKA Cuckoo.
Cuckoo. My cuckoo. With my chancla.
There it is. I don't know. What does that mean, chocolate?
Shoe, your flip flop. Like it's a very
beating
Latin.
people on the butt with.
Yeah, and like it's a very, very Latin thing, especially for a mom to have a chancla that you like, the kind you slide on. That Gucci slide gives you a good thwack. You could throw it. It's got enough weight on it that if you throw it, hit someone in the head, you could stop a fight. Break things up. The chancla. Yeah, it's very.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask my lash tech that because she is definitely Mexican. Yeah, she's Mexican. She ain't. I know for a fact her and her people from Mexico. She is Mexican, and
she absolutely knows what a chancla is. Yeah,
girl, I sure am. I sure am. Next time I see
laugh.
Her in about 10 days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, chanclas, they're like as much a part of Latin culture, very much.
All right, y'all, let's just dive on into this show because we got some things to talk about, some funny things, some not so funny things, and yeah, y'all, we're gonna catch you up if you haven't watched, and if you just like to watch us, that's cool too. We love it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to subscribe because I'm trying to get monetized this year. All right.
Support, please.
So this is how we starting off, y'all, from episode 8. This was Ginger won again. It was her and who was
Denali. It was her and Denali.
Denali. I was like, what's it going for?
Yes.
Yeah, her and Denali.
And the great debate over who won the lip sync because,
That's right, Denali. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, some more untucked juice, y'all. We're going to talk about that too.
Well, I mean, and yes, and just so it's a little bit of a foreshadowing, like, as we all know, there's a lot of drama about how Denali reacted to that lip sync decision and how it continued to play out behind the scenes, the speculation and all of that.
Juice. Tea will be spilled.
The juice is loose.
And we're going through the tournament. I love this picture. It's just such a really nice picture. I want to add that in. So anywho, so they're coming back from the Untucked and episode 8, and they're giving out their MVQ points. Yes, they're still reveling in all of the glory. And this was the showing of who gave what to who. Of course, Ginger and Denali had theirs. And folks was giving out their MVQs. So Acid got on the board. Alyssa still got her one. And Cuckoo got a couple more points. So she's, catching up, y'all. She only had one going in, I think. And now she came up.
Yes. Well, and I have to say, Cynthia Lee Fontaine has a flavor of nostalgia and love that I have in the same but different for Nicole Paige Brooks. The only thing is, I think that Cynthia is kind of doing a little bit better, though, on average with her acting performance and all of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I respect the point goodwill that's going her way.
Yeah, and I loved her voice when they were singing in episode 8. They did a real good job.
Yeah.
And so they're all, Shashin and Justin and Shashin. Now, there was some discussion about points being given, and I believe Daya wasn't appreciative of Alyssa's point giving, as if Alyssa should have. But like I said, we're going to get into it. If you've seen the episode, just know that part of this episode We will get into all of that in Untucked at the end of the variety portion of the show. Don't wait. I mean, don't leave, y'all. Just if you got to get something to eat, go get it, but come right back because we're going to get into all that juice about what transpired and all the talk surrounding these points being given. Child, that's going to be a good discussion, y'all. So don't forget, at the end of the episode, we're going to get into all of that. So we are just going to go through the variety portion. So, we're going to get some good laughs and everything, and then get right into it at the end. So
right, we'll just say at this point the horse was already dead, and so we'll just say it. Summation: the horse was already dead at this point. So the fact that it reappeared later is why we'll complain. But
so after they get all, gussied up and everything and take all that off, the next day they coming in and everything, getting ready for a brand new day. And of course, they get a little info from Rue, and they all are assembled because they are there to listen to what the next portion of their tournament of Drag Race All-Stars will be. They find out that the Maxi challenge will be an improv in regards to a new show called, so funny, the Golden Bitchelor. This is a play on from the Golden Bachelor. And it was just so cute the way they did all that stuff. And this dude that they have as their main star is from, oh girl, what's the show? I've got to put that on my notes.
I don't know. I just think he was in the movie Fire Island.
Yes, one of those main characters from Fire Island. Real cute buff guy too, child. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. What's that man's name? See if I can type it. Anyway, so with all that being said, they had to, they're learning that they're going to do some improv, right? And they're all going to have characters for themselves. There'll be different types of canines. And his name is Zane Phillips. My bad. I did have his name down. Mr. Zane Phillips, and he'll be the main character that they'll be acting around or acting with. And if you know the premise, do you know more so the premise of The Bachelor? Maybe you can explain it more than I can, or you want me to explain it?
I mean, it's basically there's just a bunch of different candidates, and they do a lot of group dating, single dating, a lot of fakery in production too, and then with a match of love.
And it's so funny because they all have these dog personas, and it's just so funny. And we're gonna get into which dog that they'll be. It was just so funny. So anyway, the improv is them getting into these dog characters, and they'll be going on dates with this dog person character situation. Right. And then they'll have, I'm sorry, were you gonna say something?
No, I'm sorry. I'm interrupting you. This is all going off the subculture that's predominantly in the queer community of puppy play, where there is a group of folks that actually like to wear dog masks and act like dogs. It's like girl, I knew you had no idea. This is a fetish. This is a fetish. This is a play on a fetish.
Say what?
Yes, puppy night at the bar. Yeah, there are folks that like to act like dogs. Puppy play, all of it. Yeah, it's a kink. It's a kink.
Girl, you blew me over with half a feather from Drew's dress going into the season 16 reunion.
I know, right?
Girl, y'all just some freaky dickies over there. getting it on, whatever, however. And
Yes.
that's
It's become like I want to claim a certain level of ignorance, so anybody school me. But I do believe it's a kink that has kind of had a surgence, not a resurgence, but like a gain in popularity. I'm not saying it hasn't been around for a long time, but it's kind of the new furries, if you will,
Shut up.
in the kink world. Yeah.
Now that's interesting.
I just listened to too many damn podcasts of drag queens and different folks to. Yes, I am aware. I am aware of the Golden Bitchelor, like what it's referencing in queer pop culture or queer, queer culture.
That is funny. Now, are they dressing like dogs too, or just have the dog?
They are masks,
Oh.
collars, yeah, all that kind of stuff.
Well, that's interesting. Well,
Costumes, yeah.
That's why, just real quick, with all this stuff going on with this big trial and everything, everybody talking about, really, it's not about what people like. It's just all the criminality attached to it that really didn't need to be.
It's just all about consent. It's
Exactly.
whatever you are into, as long as it is consenting adults, you play all day.
All day.
You do whatever you like, as long as it is two consenting adults. Or not two, because in some cases, many, whatever, consenting
however
adults.
many it is, girl.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't give a shit. It's none of my business. If I want to take a guy home with me tonight, listen.
It's no business.
Yes, if she want to be a freak and, listen, it's just, if you are consenting, it's really none of my business.
Exactly. And even if we just finding out that this so-called heterosexual mogul is into BBC, so what? Okay. I am too, but I'm not a mogul. I'm just saying, it's kind of salacious, but the whole point is just make sure folks is on the up and up and ain't nobody getting tricked and ain't nobody feeling like they was taken advantage of. People are aware and people ain't got to be abused in any type of way in order for you to enjoy their company. It's that's when it gets to the SDNY.
Yeah. No, I don't agree with anything that destroys the soul, the fabric, and the being of another human in order to give you satisfaction or pleasure. And if that's and if it's unwilling, and if it's coerced, if it's manipulated, if it's abused, if it's trained, groomed, broken in, all that stuff, you are a piece of S. You are that because you are getting off on the damaging of another human being, and that I'm not cool with in general. Like I feel comfortable saying that I don't respect people that get off on damaging other people. I just don't. There's plenty of kink. There's plenty of consenting pup dogs.
Hello.
As we digress, that are more than willing to. And there's all kinds of levels, and there are all kinds of freaky deaky, kinky, things.
I just found this out. So yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's a lot more than that.
Oh, yes. Consent, puppy play. We digress and we come back. So we are set up for the Golden Bitchelor.
Now, as we dive into, I'm sorry, were you saying something?
Okay. Sorry.
So RuPaul, of course, is the host, and it's all sexy, all the ambiance in the back, looking all sexy, carrying on. And this is the guy. He's using his real name, Zane, and he's, as you see, he's in this dog outfit. He's really a dog. Everybody but Ru is a dog moving forward in this improv. And I'm not improv in this. Improv.
Yeah.
And They did very well. Like I said, if they could just jumble all these different plays and scenes and whatnot into a show, girl, that'll be a whole new verse for for RuPaul's Drag Race. Just having that rotate all around as a show, girl, it'll just be too good. So as they're getting as you see, here's a full-on outfit. As you can see, he's gonna start meeting. Well, the dog is gonna. I'm trying to get into it too, y'all. The dog Zane is gonna start meeting these other dogs for him to get into, and it's a male dog meeting female dogs, but then they start talking in certain ways to where they start to intermingle. But the premise, so because we just want to be clear, if he's the male dog and he's going to be meeting female dogs. And was this Daya?
Mm-hmm.
Girl, someone I didn't even know. I said, I'm going to ask her because, girl.
Yes. Yes, so, it was.
Rudy the poodle is sort of like Daya in a way that I've come to recognize, a little I'm the show pony and it is what it is, this is how it's gonna go. And my word is, is that how you took it? Like real bossy?
Yes. I mean, there's a certain energy that like I think Di is slightly oblivious to, but it's like the essence of who she is. There's this level of confidence and arrogance in what she's doing and thinking it's great. And it's like, I'm not saying it's not well executed, but it's not always my preferred flavor. And it's kind of like a little too aggressive sometimes for me to like it. So although I think this was a pretty decent performance, I just sometimes feel like it's still not the standout to me though of the different variety of personas. There's still something about her that sometimes is just abrasive for me that like it does not work.
All right, girl, but you did good. And Katushka. Now this was Alyssa Hunter.
Yes.
And Alyssa Hunter came in as the single mom dog. She had dogs. Sometimes when you have a litter, you could have a whole bunch of puppies. And she came in with some still sucking as she unraveled her jacket to show who she was to Zane the dog. And she had some in her purse, talking about sit down, be quiet while I talk to this, while I go have a conversation.
Yeah.
That was funny. I like that.
It was. I think if she had really stuck to the like trying to force this man to believe like this is your dad, like no, these are your kids. Like I think I think she should have stayed there because that's where the funny part was, especially when she like took the jacket off and there's still puppies hanging on. They're like, and there was this like oblivious, like, oh no, kids, look, this is your new house. I was like really funny, and I was like, keep it there. But then when she went ahead and made that DILDO joke, it was so flatline and like stopped the flow and the fun and it wasn't even like the language barrier kind of got in the way, and I was like, oh, that's too bad, because I feel like if she had been able to stay in the jokes of the too many kids and this is your new dad, she would have done better.
Right. And is this Denali?
It is Denali.
Yeah. Danielle the Spaniel. Now she is supposed to be an emotional support dog, and everybody knows what that is. And if you don't, that's when someone who needs some special attention and who may have coping issues or anxiety, whatever that could help support them come to the standard of a level-headed temperament, then do I have that right? That's pretty much okay. Because
therapy dog, yeah.
Yeah, Listen, yin to yang over here, y'all. She helps me, I help her, because we both help
Exactly.
each other out when it comes to stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then at the same time, she has this jacket, this sweater on her back, and it has the word nervous on it because she's acting in that role too. She's real nervous with it, but she's supposed to be helping you out with your nervousness.
Yeah, I actually really do agree with the judges where I don't feel like the point of view of this character was properly defined. I do think that the whole like, oh, we're actually gay, like, lesbian, like that was a storyline that totally could have worked. Otherwise, that whole nervous thing, she needed to like hang on to that for dear life. Because the thing about this whole challenge is you got to keep it simple, you got to keep it funny, and you got to keep it like, consistent.
Yes.
And so I thought there were moments and there was some good performance, but like the through line though wasn't there.
I agree.
And that's why she didn't win, in my opinion.
Next, we have Ginger Minj as Ginger Minj, the retired first responder. What are they called? St. Bernard.
St. Bernard, yeah.
And if you're familiar, those are the dogs, the rescue dogs they send out with some brandy or some hard liquor that's tied to their neck to help people get through all the trauma they've been through trying to get rescued.
Yeah, like if you watched like Bugs Bunny back in the day when you were a kid or something, like this was the dog that was running with like a little mini barrel around their neck with like a cast. You know what I mean? We all know what the kind of reference was, but I swear to you, the little 20-something rabid RuPaul fans have no idea what this is all about.
Okay. But if you missed the 80s, you missed out. That's all I gotta say.
But yeah, that's the vibe that they gave to Ginger.
And Ginger killed it, knocked it out as she always does.
Yeah, they knew.
Goodness. I laughed the whole way through.
Well,
I need to go see her in the show. That's all I know.
That's the thing that I really hate about what they've done with the way they played this out. Like, you could easily have Ginger in the top all 3 times. Although I do think that, like, you could have shook it up. Yeah, she was great. Funny, she took this is exactly what I'm talking about, where you keep it simple and you keep it consistent with the jokes.
And I love how she came in as this real fancy to do. You can tell she looked kind of wealthy.
Well, it was really funny, like almost like mob wives broad.
Girl.
Yeah, so she took it in a good way.
I love this.
Acid Betty.
Who?
Acid Betty.
Girl, I don't know who that was. Acid Betty came as a dominatrix, and her dog name is .com. That's funny.
Yes.
And she played the part excellently. I didn't have any issues with, and she would like kind of have this, well, I'll say in a way, sometimes you'll have this alter ego to characters, and how she came in as this dominatrix dog, kind of coming in kind of strong and aggressive, and then she'll reference her owner and then go into a whole different, and she'll kind of space out a little bit and be the actual one getting dominated as, or maybe portray her owner. Did I get that right? That's how I took it.
The judges said that like they thought that she was a little inconsistent in her approach of being a dominatrix versus the submissive. But like I kind of like I don't really care is kind of maybe my attitude about it. Like I think she was funny, comedic. I think she had a solid point of view. The Betty Page, like the whole thing worked. I thought it worked for sure.
And that,
I didn't say anything. Sorry.
Next, we have Cynthia Lee Fontaine as Maria, the doggy missionary. Now she looked like she came in like a nun or something, and I think that's supposed to be a rosary or something around her neck.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Well,
know.
remember, she was being super Catholic. She was being like a weird little religious zealot.
Okay, not a nun. Okay.
Yeah, kind of like a nun, but just very, religious. Yeah, very, yeah.
Girl. So she came in, and was real impressed at how when she was first meeting the actual Bachelor dog, that there was some reference to the dog knowing the Lord in different ways, and she was like, how you come into a space, like, yeah, how you doing? Then you think to yourself, oh, I hope they go to church on Sunday. All of a sudden, they mention how they love to go to church on Sunday, and then she's like, oh yes, yes. So she's having these moments in her greeting where she's like, yes, yes, yes. I kept, oh yes, yes, another one, yeah. It was just real funny to me. I liked how Cuckoo, that's her AKA, y'all. I love how Cuckoo kind of played her role. I was hesitant, but she surprised me in this. How do you feel about that?
I thought she did great. The chalupa joke was fantastic. I thought she was really funny. Like, I actually preferred her performance over Diabetes for sure. Just that's me, but
Me
and
too.
I'm not even saying it was necessarily technically better. It's just that when Cynthia hits, she's really funny and it makes up for any maybe weaker moments, you know?
Uh-huh.
So I thought this was hilarious. The whole like, oh my God, thank you to Jesus when she saw him, all that was funny. I enjoy her. So yeah. I don't think
He ain't
she
bad looking. I'll tell you that right now. He ain't bad looking at all. And
yes.
here's some dates that he was going on, like this is one of them. Like, can you imagine the heavy influenced Bible Belt dog over there with the dominatrix going on a date with the, like, how they gonna pair that up? That's gonna be cute. That
They
was
had
it.
fun.
You know what's funny? I kind of have an outfit like he's wearing in a way, but it's overalls and they're bushy and big, but guess what they are?
What?
Houndstooth.
Oh, well, listen, go get some puppy ears and you can go to a night at the
No, that's
bar.
not what I'm talking about. No, I was just talking about because she knows I love houndstooth, but I'm
Yeah.
willing to wear these real thick overalls when it gets cold. Because girl, I wouldn't dare look at them right now, child. Start
Yeah.
sweating when I see them in the closet. But yeah, that reminds me of these houndstooth overalls I got. Anyway, the most hilarious part of the evening. I love me some Ginger Minj. I am a fan. I have turned into a Ginger. Does she have any followers? Whoever they is, I gotta find out because I'm.
Oh, you mean their name? I don't know, but yeah, go follow her. Ginger's fantastic. Like that's the part that sucks. Like she's a very funny, talented queen.
And I failed to mention that her character is a lush. Of course, she's a Saint
Right.
Bernard who has that like I said, they come rescue with a big old barrel of whiskey or bourbon or something real
Brandy.
strong to keep you warm while you go through the trauma of being rescued. And so everything she's doing is she got the drink in her hand. She's dipping her meatballs in it. You can obviously
Mm-hmm.
tell that she's had a little too much to drink. But she's on it. She's on it. So that was another piece to her character that she did oh so well. Like, oh my goodness, this lady is off the chain.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't Alyssa flub a line? Did you mention that?
Yeah, she just floundered here. I think it was, like Alyssa is an example of, an all-star that, has weak areas.
Uh-huh.
So it just became clear to me that she was one of the weaker players.
Yeah. And now we have this flea dip bubble bath.
That was funny. That was good. Very good, yes.
And this is where I mentioned earlier where they have a little girl on girl action in the midst of them trying to date him. Yeah. And so, hey, listen, when everybody is wet, everybody look good. That's all I gotta say.
Well, I thought the leg joke that they clearly were in on, like, I think they made a choice to kind of like do that or whatever. And like this whole, like, we like each other instead, like, I was there for that. But honestly, neither one of these characters were my favorite. And that's just the truth. I'm not saying either one of them were even bad. I think they were fine. I just, like, they were not the ones that I gravitated towards.
Yeah, they were definitely not the top two. They were more of the bottom two.
They just didn't do it for me.
Yeah. And you can see the special lotions right there on the table. Oh my goodness. That was cute. So at the end of the Bachelor, but this is the Bitchler because the female dog. That's when he chooses who he wants, but there was a snafu in the program, whereas a sniffoo more so.
Mm-hmm. You like yes. That? You're in it. You're in it.
Anyway. So, how dogs sniff something and they lose all sense of of concentration. Well, I think that's what we think, but they know what they're doing, right? Because they different species and they know what they're doing. But if you're trying to get their attention, of course, and they sense something is going on, well, animal instinct is way ranked higher than what you're trying to tell them at that point. So Rue is trying to gather who out of these 6 contestants would you like to go out on a date with? And in the midst of that, he sniffed possibly a squirrel. And once the squirrel name was mentioned, they all ran off, child. And only person left holding the bone was Rue. And that was the end of that Bitchler.
Yes.
So good. If you haven't watched it, please do. It was so good. Yeah, I like that outfit. That's cute. So after all of that, of course, it was kind of like a quick 1-2. It wasn't a whole lot of what they, like they had to do mini challenge. No, they had to do a maxi challenge. And they got to do a runway, maybe 2 runways. No. We just gonna hit it and quit it. It was a maxi challenge and a runway. And then, of course, the untucked at the very end. Like I said, y'all, don't leave us because we got some stuff to say about what transpired in this episode. And, of course, as Aaron said earlier, the tea that's surrounding this particular bracket and the show. So now we're coming to the runway. Yes, the runway part. They took away my song, girl. They just took it away. They doing something else like they did on Power.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Cover girl, Rue, baby. Looking, I don't like that dress, but she's still cute.
Oh, yeah, it was just a lot of volume in places.
Why is she looking thick like that?
Yeah, I mean, like
waist cinch and what's going on? I don't like this. This reminds me of Kelly's dress from season 16 Row.
Totally, and not in a good way.
Not.
Agreed.
But luckily, Rue is beautiful, and we know what she can do. So
yeah, and it's not horrible. It's just not that great,
girl.
Yeah.
Moving on to the judges, of course, the incomparable. She's like, girl.
I would have preferred a little bit bigger hair. I don't like it when Michelle's hair, shoulders, and arms all feel like the same proportion. I need a little bit more volume in the poof.
There you go, Michelle. You heard that? Be better next time. The incomparable T.S. Madison. I like this. I hate since we're talking about what hair goes and what don't. I hate it no matter where she at. I don't like those rubber bands and 2 ponytails like she's in 3rd grade.
Right,
That
we're too
is not
old.
cute.
We're too old. Don't do that. If you're over 40, don't do it.
Girl, can we go a
Just
little
saying.
lower in the age?
Yeah.
But y'all can't for sure. Y'all shouldn't. Anywho, and then we got Maya Lopez, and she
I have
actually
no idea who the fuck this is.
she kind of
Just
told a
saying.
joke, but
Whatever. Okay, hello. I don't know.
I love that name. It's so culturally, it's because I know the Mayans and the Aztecs
Yeah.
and all that stuff. I just immediately went culture
Well,
when
she's
I saw
Mexican
her
and
name.
Cuban, so she's
Mayan.
yes, she's Mexican and Cuban, so she's like a fun little Latin mix. I
Just
can
about to say,
appreciate.
girl, she got it
Yeah,
all, don't she?
I can appreciate, like the Cubano, see, Simon, that's the Mexican. Anyway, yeah, so, but I just have no idea who this young lady is, and that's okay.
And we're going to get a little culture tonight once we get to a specific queen that's up for the crown. And it's a real nice fit. But before we get there, we're going to first hit Alyssa Hunter, even though she is cute. Wait, what? Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Not Cuban, Puerto Rican.
Well, yeah.
I'm talking about her. But I kind of like this. It was really different, especially the shoes. The mug is mugging, girl. Ooh. But then this kind of looked like a diaper, and it kind of turned me off a little bit.
I really love the hair was crazy sculpted in a weird way I liked. I don't like the corset. Look where the boobies are. They're like almost like in her rib cage. Like it's not certain parts didn't fit the way they needed to. So this was like cool but not that but had problems.
Yeah, them shorts. Almost, but like I said, it looked.
Yeah.
But I like the colors and all that. The poofiness of it all, and how the neck is coming, spraying the shoulders, and the hair was great. But yeah, the shoes did it for me. I like to see those memes and things going through the timeline of those men with the shoes spiking up like that, but way up. Yeah, it was all right. Anyway, we're going to move on to my favorite, Ginger Minj. All right, Marie Antoinette. Now, if you ain't watched it, we all know. What's her name? Michelle Visage is over Marie Antoinette. However, if you look closely, as Ginger explained, she hand wrote all of the different books and things referencing how drag has been over the centuries.
This is actually, yeah, except that like this is really an Elizabethan look. She's kind of almost really Catherine the Great, Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth in this. I get exactly why you're saying what you're saying though, because I think like everybody kind of thought about that when she popped out. Although I really do respect, because sometimes Ginger's drag doesn't Ginger has made some notoriously bad choices. I think this is really cool. I appreciate all the artistry and intention that went into the construction of all of this, and I think that it goes beyond being like the little kind of roly-poly comedy queen that she is at times,
Mm-hmm.
And I really loved that about this. This was really cool to me.
Now, do you recall she said she wrote in?
Yes,
passages or something referencing drag used in back in these different plays or
yes. Shakespeare was performed. Actors were men back then, and so
Literature.
yes, in literature.
Girl.
Well, Shakespearean plays were performed by men. There were
Right.
not women actresses, and
Right.
so female roles were done in drag, basically. You
Mhm.
know, so anywhere that there's a reference to that, Ginger said that she went and found that and hand typed it into all this paper and made it. You know, it's just really thoughtful and cool, and I'm really happy for her because
For
you
real.
know it's cool. That makes it a really interesting, neat project.
And next we have Denali giving us a reference to her culture, Cuban and is it Puerto Rican? Cuban and
No, I think she's just Mexican.
I know Cuban is one of them.
Are you sure? I thought that was the guest judge.
No, I think both of them were.
Oh, I didn't catch that part. But anyway, yeah, this is yeah, this was a part of her cultural heritage. Very cool. And the House of the Fox.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, every time one of these queens brings out their culture in their garb of whatever they're wearing, they always knock it out the park. I mean, I haven't seen something done that was not cute yet, or you know, it's always been done 10 tens across the board. I love when they come with a cultural reference. Like I said, it's always something to gawk at. It's always something great to look at, and then you learn a little something too. I like this.
This was cool for sure.
Now her shoe, I wasn't thrilled about. I didn't really get it, but maybe I just need to learn a little something. Okay. Let me just look at it one more. Yeah, I wasn't sure. But anywho.
Yeah.
All right, Daya. Now them
This
shoes.
was cool.
Now that's a
No.
shoe.
Yeah, I know, right? No, listen, I'm not saying that Daya doesn't do great things. I'm not saying that, like, as a look queen, like, really cool, you know? I'm, yes, you know, this was cool for sure.
You know, Daya, excuse me, can give you a look. Not a stare, but she can beat her face. You wouldn't even know who she was. I
Mm-hmm.
swear, each and every time she comes out in something, like, who is that? Oh, yeah, it's Daya. I
Yeah.
mean, she can look like anybody. And,
Yeah.
and just and gorgeous.
Yeah, no, beautiful painter. Like, there are very many outstanding qualities about Daya Betty. That's kind of one of the interesting things about her but she's like very talented but really annoying at the same time.
And we have the other Betty, not any relation, Acid Betty in her paper. Girl. But when you turn around, there's a message.
I thought this was so cool. She's so pretty too. Like, you like kind of appreciated Diabetes as, I mean, not Diabetes, sorry, Acid Betty as like a beautiful queen in this look again. So cool. And like just shitting all over the Michelle Visage's, you know, comment about Marie Antoinette being overdone. I think this was just really cool. And I have a lot of love for Acid, and I think she's had a great run, you know.
Yeah.
For her.
Next, last, we have Cynthia Lee Fontaine came out representing a survivor of liver cancer, green representing that specific type of disease. At first, when she came out, I thought this was cute. But
yeah, I agree. Like, honestly, it didn't
like
affect. It wasn't that bad when it first came out. I was kind of like, oh, cool. But then, like, the longer I was like, oh. It's not so good.
Yeah. And after that was over, the way TS just made her, I was like, ooh, secondhand embarrassment. After all of that, we had to find out the top two, which turned out to be Ginger Minj and Diabetes. Baby. First ever in history, tournament history. Now, what's her name? The winner of them.
Ginger?
So what?
Wait, no, sorry, not Ginger. Dia.
Yeah. And I love this song by Junior. When they sang, girl, I got up. I was like, yeah, girl, we used to jam to this song. Oh my God. Girl, I could probably win this lip sync contest if they let me up there with this song. This was the jam. Girl, let me tell you, everybody I knew would get up. I mean, the old folks would get up to this song. It was just, this was the song back in the day. Mama used to say, ooh. But after all of that, Dia won. Yes. Ginger has made history, y'all. But she didn't win 3 times, all 3. She won the first 2. Dia, but she was up there for the, runner up. So this was the tally as the top 2 won. Now, y'all, they had to, they had to do the MVQ points, right? And they were all dousing their points. You see the score right now. They're giving all the points out. Child, why they didn't got Cynthia Lee Fontaine up there as a third person, y'all. Can y'all believe it? I would now, no shade, but like I was telling Aaron earlier, I was like, after all of the critiques and all of the everything, it was like more so I'm giving this as a symbol to, helping her out after all of what she's been through and yada, yada. And that's fine, but I just automatically thought, is this like a sympathy and payola situation? No shade, but I'm like, what happened to well, anyway, I ain't trying to be like Dia, but we'll like in a minute. But I just thought that it was kind of, off-putting, especially at this particular judging where they just ripped her to shreds according to what she wore on that runway.
Yeah, but we've talked about this. The runway matters or it doesn't, depending on the storyline, the way production wants to go.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really not. I wasn't as bothered by it as you. I certainly kind of expected. I think that they're positioning Denali for being the wild card. I think that they were unhappy about the fact that she lost her shit supposedly with her thing with Ginger, like, whatever. There's always an episode where you feel the hand of production and you're like, God damn, they are guiding the story. And I just think that they had certain things in mind. I also think that Diabetes, like, really argumentative personality, they want to push her forward because she'll stand up to Mistress. Like, are you kidding? Like, she will not back down from Mistress. So, they have their agenda. I don't mind though, because I really love Cynthia, so I don't mind seeing the cuckoo on the TV again. It's okay. We know she's not gonna win, but it's okay. She can go take her chancla and keep going.
So if you guys remember from episode 8, the three that won this bracket are the Mud Flaps, the girls who
Yes.
got together and killed it on stage. So yeah, we have Dia and Cynthia and Ginger going to the semifinals. And if you don't remember, this was the original bracket 1, 2, and 3, and this is the updated. Yeah, baby. All right. Oh.
Here we go. Here we go.
Now, Untucked. Girl. Okay, so remember earlier when I was mentioning when they first came in giving their MVQ points from episode 8, and they were discussing matters of how people came up with who they wanted to give their points to. Daya called out Alyssa Hunter because Daya didn't feel like Alyssa was being truthful and she was contradicting herself and how she determined how she wanted to give, all because Daya felt the point should have came to her. That's the bottom line. I don't care what Daya say.
Yeah, obvious. Yes, it's yeah. There's no leg to stand on here, and yet it literally
Because that's what it is. Because in her spiel of that's not what you said. That's not how you made it seem. Because
you're not keeping your word. You're not keeping.
Right.
She kept saying you're not keeping your word. She are you? My head was exploding. Head exploding emoji. Like she never promised you that she would give you a point. It's your opinion even that you're the one that's doing consistently the best to deserve it. That's just your perspective.
And everybody there thinks that they're doing their big one.
And it doesn't even matter. The whole reason the points were handed, I would literally punch Daya in the mouth. Like this curdled my emotions toward her and brought me back to her first season and why she was so annoying. No, I'm serious. It made me feel violent because if somebody was literally challenging me that I wasn't keeping my word and giving them a point, I would be like, what on earth makes you think that I give a shit what you like I don't like you enough to make sure that you feel honored in a competition game where I didn't want to give you my point. And like you're acting like, oh, the right thing to do is to give it to you because you really want it. Get out of here. And the way that she had to keep interrupting, even when everyone in the room was like, we give 0 Fs.
Eyes rolling like, girl, we go like.
And you're not even proving a good point. Alyssa never, ever, ever. It would be one thing if it was a Mistress Nicole Page Brooks situation where she misled in order to gain something. This wasn't shady in any way. Alyssa owes you nothing. 0. And you aren't owed anything. And for you to be like over and over, but you said I want you to keep your word. All I said was I would give it to who I thought was doing consistently a good job. And that doesn't mean it was you.
Hello. And
craziness.
Think that you're deserving
Yeah.
of it, you're just delusional.
And I don't even care.
If you were, Daya, girl, listen. If you was that girl, the week 3 would not have been the week for you.
I owe you nothing. And whatever your perspective is fine. You can have it, but for you to expect me to do anything based on that perspective as you're desperately trying to advance, as we all are, you can seriously kiss my booty. I'm so serious. You can the way Denali spread eagle in her lip sync. You can kiss right what she was tapping. Okay? That's how I feel about this nonsense. But I also think it's very clear that that is why they advanced her, because they want that insidious temperament to go up against Mistress. And they want all kinds of fireworks. And Gaia, that's one thing about her, is that it doesn't matter. She will die on that horse. She will die. She will go down with that ship. She will do it. Because it was so insane to even argue that perspective to be owed a point somehow. And yet here we are.
And must I add, from the beginning of this bracket, there was beef, there was
Yeah.
pressure between them two from previous. And even Alyssa tried to offer an olive branch. Daya just let it fall to the ground. And she
She really
wasn't
did.
it.
She
So
declined being partners, remember?
yeah, like girl, Daya,
Yeah.
girl, have you forgot just 2 weeks ago when all this was, when Alyssa was trying to work with you, and you just cut like, nah, girl, I'm good over here.
Yeah, there's no
So now
moral
you
high
want her to
ground.
work with you, although at the same time giving you a point. Girl, please, that's a double-edged sword that's gonna go right back to you just like a boomerang. And
Mm-hmm.
you lucky that you're moving forward.
You
Just
don't
be lucky in that respect.
Yeah, you don't deserve anything.
Girl,
This point is to be played in the game. You don't deserve based on your performance. That's based on your personal perspective whether or not you were the best.
come
Like
on.
no. Like I've said before and I'll say it again. Just because you were maybe technically executing on a different level doesn't mean you resonated. It's the flavor of comedy. It's the reason Cynthia Lee Fontaine got advanced. The cuckoo thing, like people enjoy that. Regardless of whether or not she hits every time, she hits well enough that the even the partial hits overhit you. So accept. Yeah. But fine, go fight with Mistress. I know that's why they're advancing you, because you're obstinate and crazy, and you're a very talented queen, but still, you annoyed the bejesus out of me this episode with the most stupid argument I think I've ever heard as to why someone should be given anything.
And the other very quickly squashed beef was, like I said, when they first came in, they were discussing the points. After they got all that MVQ and they came in the next day and they sit around the table and discuss, Ginger Minj brought up how she was disappointed that she wasn't really celebrated and she was kind of hated on for winning her second win. And they're like, well, who are you talking about? So she's like, pretty much said, well, Alyssa. And luckily, even though they were picked to work together before even starting the project, Ginger, said, "This is not personal. I just wanted to make sure that we were good moving forward. I just wanted to, give you the opportunity, or just pretty much for us to, handle whatever that needs to be handled that's left over from that conversation, so that we can do a good job." That's how you forge relationships, Daya. That's how you do it. And sometimes, even if Ginger was not honest, you fake it till you make it, boo. You fake it till you make it. You could have easily done that week 7. Fake it. You only got 3 weeks. 3 weeks with the girl.
I just think,
no, you chose violence.
yeah, I mean, I just think Ginger shouldn't have even have said anything because, like,
you do.
well, because it's like it doesn't even matter. You're like clearly going to move forward and you're going to win, and it's like I get it. You're in a very unfair position where you're actually very talented, but you're also being set up, and so people might be resentful. And they are giving her a story arc of being in the top every time. I think they should have made her 2 out of 3, or like I don't know. I think but like at the same time, like you're moving forward and you know it. Don't have any emotional ups or downs about this other bullshit. You know what I mean? Because it gives people kind of like, I think, a little bit of ammo towards her. And like, I just think this is really unfair. I hate that Ginger's in this position because it's kind of like,
let's talk about it. Let's talk. Come on.
Well, it's just kind of this weird thing that they do with Ginger because this is her 4th All-Star, or this is her 3rd All-Stars, her 4th round. She's clearly incredibly talented. She definitely has had some fashion misses before. Like her entrance to All Star 6, I think it was so bad. Ugh. But like Ginger somehow manages to always have some feelings or like attitudes towards what's happening that makes her a target for like getting picked on. You know what I mean? So she's just a very interesting queen in the whole like pantheon of drag performers for Drag Race. But I just think it's unfortunate that RuPaul or World of Wonder kind of set her up, production set her up to really be a target because every time she was good, it was undeniable, you know? She never did bad, you know? So it is what it is. Although the way she's gotten skinty, I kind of miss Fat Ginger.
I'm sorry, what's the last thing you said? The way she what?
Has gotten skinny. I miss Fat Ginger.
Her and Mistress. I mean, hey, this is the era of, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, it's interesting because that proves that they came back after quite a certain amount of time for everybody. And that kind of speaks to this weird speculation that Denali somehow refused to film confessionals. This is what I personally think. I think Denali's the wild card, and I think that Denali was doing confessionals coming back later on, just like everybody else, because Mistress and Ginger are significantly thinner enough that clearly a lot of time, months have passed for everyone, you know?
A good a good 3 months, I think. You know.
Yeah, I agree. Like we're not talking about like 2. No, we're talking about 3.
I did also see some things coming down the pipeline and floating through these social media avenues about. I think you did mention it, how when episode 8, Denali was not pleased with Ginger winning and had something of a temper tantrum where Rue had to get her together.
Mm-hmm. And they're saying that the chew out was cut. They didn't choose to air it. And Denali even talked about this at Roscoe's. So, but did not admit to having a fit. She said that she had a moment off stage and quickly recovered. So I don't know, but I've also heard through other reliable sources that
Asia would have said, but go ahead.
Oh, well, I've also heard and listen that Denali definitely had a fit about losing. And so that I'll believe. You know, was she chewed out by RuPaul? I don't know. But I do think I think that we'll see how it goes. I think they were doing that to her to make her this weird wild card candidate. You know, this random lottery choice.
I guess.
So we shall see.
The tea?
I think we got the tea. Yeah, we shall see.
Pretty much 2 issues out of Untucked, and then everything else in social media surrounding those 2. You know, we pretty much got.
No, we're headed to the semifinals with some obvious motivations and some speculation motivations.
And it's always, you know, pleasantly surprising to have a little something extra to talk about, you know, because of course we love all the fanfare, all the garb that we, you know, laugh at or mimic, or is just goo goo gaga over like, ooh, girl, what's, you know, ooh, yes, you know. So yeah, and you know what's going down because these heifers here, where is that? These heifers right here.
Yes.
Woo. Oh, excuse me. Did I mention how Ginger mentioned to both Daya and Cynthia, we're gonna get these bitches. we're gonna and then they're gonna do Snatch Game next week. Girl. Now, next week is a holiday. I wonder what's going to happen. We got to wait till the 11th for Snatch.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm not confirmed that one. I don't know.
My favorite. Got my voice all high.
Yeah. Well, hey, it'll be fun. It'll be good.
If they're going to air it for it'll be great so we can watch while we at the house.
It'd be nice.
Oh, that's going to be so fun. Oh, because all these heifers know how to give when it comes to the Snatch game. Well, I don't know everybody. I ain't seen everybody work, but I've seen a few of them going. I love me a Snatch game. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, y'all.
Mm-hmm, it will.
Episode 10. Oh, yes. Aja and Mistress. Something tell me words will be spoken.
There's a lot of personalities. There's going to be chemistry, popcorn popping in the popcorn popper. You know, like the old-fashioned kind where you pour in the kernels and some oil and watch it go.
So I'm looking at them right now and how we were talking there, like what they're known for. Like, I think, correct me. Lydia kind of gives camp.
No. Lydia B. Hole Collins is like, no. Ginger doesn't even really give camp, especially nowadays, but a little more camp than Lydia. Lydia is like, I don't know, like kind of weird alternative.
Irene?
Camp? No.
Because she comes with the ears and the...
Yeah, but that's not camp. Camp is really more Kasha Davis. I wouldn't even put Deja Sky. Deja Sky is maybe kind of camp adjacent, but I really wouldn't. It's like, I don't think we really even have a great camp queen on this season.
Okay,
so yeah.
Never mind that then, y'all.
Yeah. I was like, no, wrong road.
Wrong, girl. Anywho, so these are the heifers that we're going to be watching.
Yes.
Episode 10. Oh, wait, this was a good one. I swear we just started. It seemed like we just started with this. It's just going by quickly. We're enjoying this. I know for a fact we're enjoying this. That's probably why it seemed like it's going so fast. Oh, girl. Well, do you have anything more to say? Any possible tea you may have forgotten or whatever?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I am satisfied.
Well, before we go, we're going to find out when Aaron ain't with me talking about Drag Race or Selling Sunset on Netflix or Southern Charm on Bravo, whatever else we be talking about. Where can the people find you?
You can catch me on Instagram and Threads at psychic_ELB. If you'd like to get a psychic reading, hit me up in the DMs, or on Facebook at Psychic Erin Boyd.
All right, y'all, you heard what she said. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you so much, and we'll catch you next time. Bye, y'all. All day.